Alright guys, now we're going to put the big log that we just cut off of this long one here. We're going to put it in this empty space back here that I just cleared out. And I'm going to rake that out a little bit because there was some grass that was kind of grown up into there that's not quite woken up yet. So we're going to do our best to clear that out. I know we will have to cut this one back some, but we'll kind of figure out. It might work where this big one will sit and actually lay over the top of it if we're lucky. So here we go. Dean Family Acres. There's 10.
Appreciate you guys joining us this week as we're going to be working on the edibles bed again. We're looking at the landscaping and trying to figure out exactly what's going to work best as we continue to add more edibles to this bed.
Alright guys, so we're trying to look at exactly what size these logs are. If you don't remember, we took this tree down with our good friend who's now on the mission field. I'll leave that link right up here for you to be able to see when we took this tree down here, and we just laid it absolutely perfect to not hit the fence and just barely clip the crepe myrtles on the upper end. So we just measured, need about an 8-footer with a curve to it, which this one works absolutely perfect. Need about a 15 to 17 footer, which this one down here in the bottom is about 19, which will work absolutely perfect. And then this other one here is about a 12 footer, which is a little bit long. So I think we can make all three of these work, and instead of where we kind of push them out of the yard and out of the way to potentially use for firewood in the future, now we'll actually be able to use these in our bed and make it look like a little bit more natural landscape. Will these last forever? No, but by the time they're broken down, those plants should be well established, and we'll be able to kind of incorporate something else, or maybe use some of the stones or rocks more that we're also going to incorporate into this bed as we continue to expand and think through our landscape and how we want it to look. So here we go. Let's see if we can get this figured out.
We went a little too far. I don't know how close you want it to that bush. Larger it goes, the bigger the bush.
Alright guys, so this one ended up being a little bit bigger than I thought, and with this extra bump out over here, I'm not really fully sure how or what I want to do at this point. Still trying to figure that out. I also have this other log that I've got in the center now. I can't pick that one up completely by myself, but I can pick it up and move it, so it's not nearly as big of a deal there. I know, so if this stays, alright guys, when your camera battery dies, you end up missing a little bit of footage here, and it would help when I came back out here if I'd have remembered to hit record. Anyway, right after the battery died, we ran some errands and came out, and then I cut this trunk that was here just before the battery died. So you got a general idea now. Kind of comes and arcs out there. I think that'll work well. We'll put something else right here in the middle. I'm not sure exactly what, but we'll kind of try and figure that out since that sun comes from this direction over. And then I'm going to move these. Got another limb that we had over here, moved over here because the length is about right. And then also the crooked branch from the post oak here that fell down during Hurricane Helene. I think I'm going to move it back over here around where the persimmon is, kind of make an extra little bed. We're going to see how that looks. I think I'm at least going to put some more strawberries on this side of the walkway for us to be able to kind of walk through here. That's one thing I kind of wanted, just because of where it sits. You kind of tend to want to walk through this, and I'd rather have a set, all right, this is where you need to walk. So that's what we're kind of working towards now. So see what we can come up with. Alright guys, so hopefully this looks like another bed here. Again, just put strawberries in this bed. So come around right here where this bucket is, or shallow pot. That's actually not going to be there. I think I'm going to plant some flowers right there in that little nook, and then we'll do more strawberries here. And then trying to decide what we want to do on this side, because I don't want to use up my whole edibles bed with walkway, but it is looking pretty good. Need to figure out, I think, a couple stones here on this side. So if we end up with something coming right about to here, so make it a little bit more narrow on this side, or kind of loop it around, that persimmon will be perfect. I do have those stones as well, so might do that, but we'll see what we come up with. course, we've got to work on trying to figure out a way to keep these chickens penned up, because they wreak havoc on any kind of landscaping. Alright guys, now we're going to put the big log that we just cut off of this long one here. We're going to put it in this empty space back here that I just cleared out. And I'm going to rake that out a little bit because there was some grass that was kind of grown up into there that's not quite woken up yet. So we're going to do our best to clear that out. I know we will have to cut this one back some, but we'll kind of figure out. It might work where this big one will sit and actually lay over the top of it if we're lucky. So here we go.
Yo voy a cantar esta canción, yo voy a cantar esta canción para mi gente. Con una pasión tan fuerte. Ay, 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 ay. Ahora sigo cantando y sigo gozando. Yo sigo cantando y sigo gozando.
All right, now let's see if we can get this big log moved over here without messing up something. Almost perfect fitment, like we're making a log cabin here. I think I actually might work on trying to notch out the big log just a little bit so that I can slide that under there and move some things around. We'll see. I don't really know. Well guys, what do you think? pieced together pretty good. I don't think I'll need to, but if this moves a little bit because of the way it's sitting up, I might put one of the long log screws down into that to hold all that together, but I don't think we'll need it. It's not like it's going to be a lot on this, but if it gets unstable, we'll do that. That log is definitely in better shape than you would think. You see this side, and you're like, man, that thing is ate up. Check out this side. It's actually some pretty wood. To have, you know, bugs and all that kind of stuff in it. It's kind of neat. This log had those black ants in it over by our driveway, so that's what took it out, and it kept leaning and was about to fall across our driveway a year or so ago now, and we finally took that out. But I think that turned out well. Let me just back up, kind of walk y'all around, see what we got, and then we got one more area kind of right here. We got to figure out what we're gonna do. Alright guys, so you can see that log ended up kind of standing up there. I'm sure the cats will love that as long as it stays stable. That notch worked out really well. Just dropped it straight on there. No need to be fancy with how we notch it, but I think that'll hold everything there. It'll also hold this log in place. I think I like about where this one that curves comes around. We might pull it back in just a pinch, but this should end up being an absolutely great little side bed for strawberries right here, as we have the walkway and then the log coming across this way. Chickens obviously love it already. Bane of my existence, as with most anybody else, if you've got Bermuda, I would encourage you, don't ever plant Bermuda. It is all in this bed. Centipede is in a little bit, but for the most part it's Bermuda, and it's just everywhere. So this is what we got so far. Again, got the fuzzy kiwis, got our on all three corners, so 2 here, 1 there, and 1 there. Got strawberries right here. We've got a, believe if my memory's right, a shell apple on some super dwarfing rootstock, a Robinson crab apple over on this side, just a few blooms left on it, starting to struggle. Did not bloom nearly as much as our other one. So we've got that here. Plans to plant something else basically right here in this corner. Tanashi persimmon, Asian persimmon there, that is a astringent of variety, so it does have to be fully ripe. These are pineapple guavas. We have a pomegranate here. I cannot remember the name. I'll put it down at the bottom of the screen. And then a little Miss Figgy. This pretty much has died back to the ground. Almost every one of those branches is dead, but that's all right. It should come back this year. We'll have a walkway here, trying to figure out how else we're going to lay out this back corner over here, and if we want to get another log back here, or if we want to use some stone, incorporate some more stone like we did over on this side a little bit. So hopefully you guys are enjoying how things are coming together. Excuse a lot of the mess, but y'all know how it is. Always thousands of projects going. Hey guys, we're out here in the edibles bed again, and we're adding some new varieties of fruit.